Okay, well, what I wanted to do right now is work through exercise 2-9, Johnson products. In this question, we're asked to compute the amount of direct labor assigned to each job and then work through the journal entries associated with that. So what I've presented here so far in Excel is the base information with the ticket number, employee number, pay rate, job hours worked, and job number. Now notice here that we have 3 jobs. Job 201, which has 3 tickets, 202 with just 1, and then 203 with just 1 as well. So the amount of direct labor will be calculated by taking the product of the rate of pay and the number of hours worked. So, for instance, the direct labor for ticket 2101 is $1,100, which is given by multiplying the pay rate of $10 per hour by the number of hours worked, 110. So the same will be true then for each of these once we have the spreadsheet organized in such a manner with the pay rate in one column and the hours worked in the next column. So what we can do is hover over here to the bottom right corner and double click with the mouse, and that will give us the product of the direct labor. So overall, in total, if we were to come up with a little total here, we would just sum, again making sure to start with the equal sign and the command sum, and then fill in F4 through F8. So overall, we're going to have wages of $5,730. That is wages of direct labor. And I'm just spending a little time to beautify the spreadsheet here. So 5,730, we'll make use of that information a little bit later. So now the amount of direct labor assigned to each job. So what we can do is go up to here and include our 201, 202, and 203. And then, one way to accumulate this would be to say sum if. So in this range, so for our job numbers, the criteria would be, well, what's over here adjacently. So if the job number is 201, then we're going to want to come up with the sum range, which would be the amount of direct labor associated with each of these. So here, out of the 5,730, we have 3,470. Now, you might say, well, I can just look at this and say I have 1,100 here plus 1,890 here plus 480 here, and I get the same bit of information. So, Schwartz, why are you trying to be fancy about this? Well, here we have a ticket with 5 items that we see everything right on the screen. But if we're trying to be prospective, and that's what I would encourage you to do, is how can I use this? How can I use Excel moving forward? We're hoping Excel can do a lot more than 5 line items here. And so here, what we'd want to do is go ahead and tidy this up. So using the F4 key, we would lock in the range that we're experiencing the sum if, as well as the sum range, so that as we make use of, make sure that we move this over here. So we want these absolute references for both the job number and the direct labor dollar amount. So that as we drag this down again, we'll see that all three of these will add up to, and we should check, make sure that we have this adding up in completeness, 5,730. So the amount of direct labor then will be how certainly the sums of the products associated with the particular job numbers. Now the second issue here is to summarize labor tickets and prepare a journal entry. So from that perspective, I guess we sort of worked ahead here with summarizing the job tickets with the 3470, 1000, and 1260 here. As far as the journal entry is concerned, the important thing is, summarize, prepare a journal entry. So for a journal entry, we want to make sure that we have our debits and credits with the account name and the corresponding debit and credit with the dollar amounts. So the thing to think about here is, now we can do this by, we can do it the long way, we can do it the short way. I guess we can do it the long way here just to describe so that we have the more fully showing what's happening here. So from a job by job perspective, make sure that we are in balance here with our journal entries. The debit will be the appearance of the direct labor charge onto the books. Well, as people work, as people produce the product that Johnson Products is manufacturing, that cost is being held in inventory, and the appearance initially for that would be the work in process account. Now, ultimately, this will end up in cost of goods sold, but the initial entry or the initial work is recorded as an asset, in particular the inventory asset work in process. And then as we're producing this and we're accruing the wages, we'll have a credit entry for wages payable. And then, as an explanation, is to record direct labor for job 201. Now, similarly, we would do this for job 202. So in this case, we have the $1,000 entry here. And then here, we'll say to record direct labor for job 202. And then finally, we'll have job 203. So we would have the debit 1,260 and the credit 1,260 to wages payable. So to record direct labor for job 203. Now we could have just done a single entry for 5,730, but I think it's important to remember, okay, each of these jobs is moving through the inventory accounts at different paces. And in fact, the amount for job 201, assuming that that's the first one that's worked, but by its nature of being the first job in this sequence, well, job 201 may be completed first and might ultimately be sold first. So you can track the appropriate amount of direct labor's contribution to work in process in that particular bin. So this was the first go here at exercise 2-9. Hope that this helps in terms of figuring out how to set up a spreadsheet or check your work or give you some reinforcement and confidence. So away we go.